Hello everyone, welcome to Oliveboard. My name is Dinkar and I welcome each and every one of you in this session. I hope everybody is doing great, feeling healthy and fine. Once again, welcome to the morning dose of the PIB session uh, so this is again one of the most important news that we wanted to share with each and every one of you. So once again, welcome to the morning dose of the PIB session and good morning to you. We are all doing these top news coverage from since every day since now because some of the important news are being covered each and every day. So make sure that you make a little short notes about each and every of this topic so that you do not lose ground on the important topics every day. So make a short notes every day and have a kind of like separate notes for all these things. And yesterday we have already shared a video regarding the RBI vacancies and everything, and we have also released various courses, so you can go and check my like RBI basic salary in less than 10 minutes session and everything. You can go and check over there. And in few days we will be coming out with some of the very important courses for each and every one of you. So please stay tuned for Oliveboard for various type of news related to RBI examination because we are releasing for some full-fledged courses which we have already discussed yesterday. Crash courses, learn pack, mentorship batch are already there. Crash course is one of the new course that we have launched. So make sure that you take the maximum benefit out of it and you join it early as soon as possible. So let's start with our session, and before starting, let me see how many people are there in the session. So we have Kshitij is here. Hello Kshitij, welcome to the session. Good morning. Top news coverages. So today we'll be discussing regarding the Indian Space Policy 2023. So Indian government has clearly mentioned what they are expecting, what is the role of private sector, what is the role of public sector, and how the space sector is going to be handled in the future. Now, these three important organizations, ISRO, InSpace, and NSIL, the major roles are being given to that. So, in this Indian Space Policy 2023, the roles of these three organizations are being clearly laid out. Earlier, people don't know what is the purpose of ISRO, what is the purpose of NSpace, what is the purpose of NSIL in the space programs. So this is going to be in this Indian space policy. They have clearly mentioned each and every role of that. Okay, so this news was there. Indian space policy, ISRO to focus on R&D activities. So Indian space policy was approved by Cabinet Committee on Security. Okay. Main purpose is related to private sector role. Private sector role, the main purpose is to clearly define the role of private sector in this. Okay, for proper institutionalization, मतलब उनको institutions मतलब properly create करके देना what is the role of the private sector, what in what all fields the private sector can involve in that. Okay. So this Indian space policy, because this document is the government document, they have written a 11-page document. From that, the preamble has been taken. What government, like a preamble is like a overall overview of the whole policy, right? So India has opened the door for non-governmental entities to carry out end-to-end activity in the space domain, so that they will be a level playing field. They will be taking part from end to end with the government. Okay, government has put the proper document in which regulatory certainties are being provided. Earlier we don't know what was coming over there, but now regulatory certainties are being provided over there. Like if you are coming into the space mission, this is going to be the regulatory certainty that you are going to get properly. There will be no uncertainty, there will be nothing like that. You will be getting this type of certainty, and you should not be having any problem in doing that. Okay, so and at the same time, this Indian space policy has taken a overreaching impact, proper dynamic framework to implement the proper vision and approved by the cabinet. This all being taken care by the Indian space policy. That is the preamble, that is the overview of Indian space policy. Okay. Now vision, what exactly we wanted to achieve by this Indian space policy. First of all, we wanted to enhance our space capabilities, right? And also to have a commercialized presence, because we all know that we are one of the important player in the launch segment, because we are the country which can launch the satellite at a very affordable prices. That is why the satellites of USA, Australia, Europe, Qatar, UAE, everything, they are being launching from Indian launch pads. Okay, so in this way international relationship is also building among them. At the same time, we are also taking care of the economic, socio-economic development and security of the area. At the same time, environmental life and peaceful exploration of the outer space, we all are taking. This is the vision that we wanted to create, so that we can take the maximum benefit out of our technological landscape. Now, what is the strategy that we are going to follow for that? Strategy, like if we really wanted to follow that vision, if we want proper vision that we have to follow, there has to be some kind of strategy that we have to follow. That strategy is, first of all, encouraging the greater participation of the private sector, because private sector has to go hand in hand along with the government sector. Then only we can really utilize the proper potential of that. Proper space economy can be utilized. Okay, either in the space based assets are there, ground based assets are there, everywhere the private sector has to go hand in hand. Okay, so like the various services are there, communication services are there, remote sensing are there, data services are there, launch services are there. Whether it is public or private, anybody can procure these sources from the government for the benefit of the people. Okay, so that shall be free to directly procure them from any source, whether private or public. Now, the government will be focusing on research and development. Main purpose is obviously research and development. Then public goods and services, creation of public goods and services, like satellites are there, satellites are utilizing for remote sensing and everything. That is called public goods. Okay, then stable and predictable regulatory frameworks has to be set up. Okay, predictable regulatory framework has to be set up. Okay, for that government has set up in space. Okay, we will be discussing more in detail regarding this. Then at the same time, we have to enhance the education and innovation in the field of space areas, right? And driving of the overall technology, that is one of the major things there. Now comes the proper delineation of the roles. The roles are being divided. Okay, roles are being divided between the ISRO, NSIL and InSpace. Everybody should know regarding the role of that. Three important organizations. ISRO has been given solely the task of research and development. ISRO को बोला है कि आप केवल R&D करेंगे. You will only be doing R&D activities. You will not be part of any commercial or promotional or advertisement agency. You will be only doing R&D activities, nothing more than that. Okay. Then NSIL, National Space India Limited, will be carrying out the strategic activities. Okay. That means overall functioning is under the NSIL. And in space will be the interface between the ISRO and non-governmental entities. अब जैसे whatever ISRO is producing some technology, how this technology can be given to the non-governmental entities, that will be the role of in space. Okay, if you wanted to utilize some of the technology of the ISRO or ISRO facility or something like that, you have to contact in space. Okay, the operational part of the ISRO will be given to NSIL. Okay, this is the major role delineation that has been given. Okay, now what are these non-governmental entities and what is the role of these non-governmental entities, we have to know. So non-governmental entities are normally called as private entities. Now government has allowed that so non-governmental entities can do end-to-end activities. They can establish space objects, they can establish ground-based assets, they can provide related services, communication, remote sensing, anything as per the guidelines prescribed by the in-space. Okay, because in-space is the interface between ISRO and non-governmental entities. So any non-governmental entities wanted to work in any of the space field, they have to contact in space and they get all the necessary support from the ISRO. Okay, so NGE, non-governmental entities, will be encouraged to do national, international space communication services. They can provide, they can put ground facilities, they can use India's orbital resources, they can produce communication services inside or outside India, they can establish their own remote sensing satellites, they can disseminate the satellite based remote sensing data. That means everything this non-governmental entities can do. That is why the role of the private sector has been enlarged. The scope of the private sector has been enlarged to do anything over there with the permission of the ISRO. Okay, then they can also develop the commercial technologies which can help in the satellite navigation, communication, remote sensing and everything. Right, they can also manufacture space transportation system, rockets and various other things like launch vehicles, shuttles, okay, reusable launch vehicle, recoverable, reconfigure launch vehicles, everything they can do. So the private sector role, private sector role has been enlarged. Private sector roles has been enlarged over there. Okay, then they can also establish an operation in the launch vehicle. 1 minute guys. Yeah, sorry for the interruption in between. So non-government entities can establish and operate their own launch vehicle, launch infrastructure. Okay, they can provide space awareness capabilities, situational awareness capabilities, they can provide their modeling. Non-governmental entities can take research, innovation and technology, okay, end-to-end services they can provide. Okay, they can also engage in various commercial activities like such as they can have their own transport use, they can utilize any such asteroid resources, they can utilize any space resources which is coming under the applicable law, they can utilize anything. Okay, so anything which is prescribed by in space. So this is what all the role of non-governmental entities. NGE means directly that private sector role. Private sector role is now similar to the government sector role. That is why we will be giving boost to the space startups. Right now around 200 to 300 startups are there which are working in the field of space. But earlier there was very uncertainty was there regarding the regulatory framework and the type of work they can do. But right now government has enhanced the role of the private sector. to boost the private economy, to boost the private space sector. So in space means international Indian National Space Promotion Authorization Center. This is a autonomous governmental organization that will be that has been given the role of to promote, guide and authorize the space activities in the country. Okay, the role of this is to organize, promote and guide and authorize the space activity in the country. So in space, periodically will be issuing the guidelines procedure among these to promote ease of doing business. Okay, so in space will be the interface between the government, between the ISRO and the non-governmental entities. These non-governmental entities can also take the help of ISRO R&D activities, ISRO launch facilities. They can take the help of ISRO areas, ISRO launch facilities. Right now we have also released one private rocket, right? One private rocket has been released from the ISRO launch facility. So ISRO is helping each and every private company to utilize their own launching station and own launching areas. Now role of the ISRO has also been clearly demarcated. Okay, the role of ISRO will be primarily on research and development. ISRO will not be part of any commercial activity. ISRO will not be part of any commercial activity. They will only doing the research and development, finding out new system, finding out new area like infrastructure, how space transportation, space application, capacity building, everything. Only research and development activity. As the word suggests, Indian space research, as the word research is there, so they will be focusing only on the research. ISRO will be sharing their technologies, ISRO will be sharing their products, best practices with the non-governmental entities, NGEs or the government company. ISRO will be sharing their products and data. Okay, ISRO will be providing open data access to the people. Okay, ISRO will make the archive satellite data available to the people, to the companies, to the non-governmental entities. ISRO will be demonstrating the human space flight capabilities. Again, we will be doing the research and development activities in the space flight capabilities. ISRO will be developing all the R&D activities regarding that. ISRO will be forming all the necessary technologies and infrastructure for that. Okay, ISRO will be only be part of research and development. ISRO will be doing the scientific research collaboration with various domains in the human fields, human space activities with various other countries and everybody. Okay, ISRO will be taking activities like studies, mission, in situ, resource utilization and extra testable habitability. All these research activities ISRO will be doing. Then transition out from the existing practice of being present in the manufacture in the space area. ISRO will be only focusing on R&D activities, and ISRO will be fostering the collaboration and partnership within the industry and academia. That is, the role of the ISRO has been clearly defined. Okay, so we have done in space, we have done ISRO. Okay, ISRO only R&D, and in space would be the interface between the private and the government sector. Okay, now New Space India Limited. Okay, it is going to be it is for the commercializing of the space technology. अब ISRO जो कुछ भी बनाएगा, उसको commercialize करने का काम in space को दिया जाएगा. You have already learned about the Anthrax and Devas. Okay, earlier Anthrax was there. Anthrax was a company was there, which was the part of the commercial arm of the ISRO, but because of some corruption and everything, that company has been under scanner. So that is why the government has created a totally new body that is called New Space India Limited. The role of this is to commercialize the product of the ISRO. अब इसरो ने सैटेलाइट बनाया, उसको कमर्शियलाइज करो. इसरो ने रॉकेट बनाया, उसको कमर्शियलाइज करो. इसरो ने रिमोट सेंसिंग डेटा है, उनको कमर्शियलाइज करो. राइट, so it is responsible for commercializing of the space technologies. Okay, New Space India Limited will manufacture, lease, procure the space component. Everything will be done by the New Space India Limited. There will be platforms, private, public sector, sound commercial principles. Everything will be set up like how commercial has to work over there, right? Then service the space-based needs of the user, whether a government or NG on the sound commercial. So this is totally a commercial body of the space. Okay. Here, all the related work like how much charges we have to take from any country, what type of rocket we have to sell to any country, what type of launch, how much we have to take for the launch capability. Okay, how much PSLV rocket production we have to do, how much SSLV production we have to do, what type of launch service we have to provide, which country we have to provide the launch services, how to sell the data of the satellites. Okay. And they all will be part of satellite building, rocket building. Everything will be taken by the New Space India Limited, because they will be having the money of the, they will be having a public expenditure of the money. Okay. Okay. In space will be only collaborating between the public and private. ISRO will be doing R&D, and everything related to production, procurement, launching, and everything will be done by the New Space India Limited. So in New Space India Limited will be the commercial department of the Department of Space. Okay, commercially, how we can harness the power of the space. Then commercialization is the total work of the New Space India Limited. Now at the last, Department of Space. Okay, Department of Space will be overseeing the role of all these three bodies. If there is any communication gap, if there is any issue between these three bodies, Department of Space will be clearly making out the differences and reading out the proper policy. Okay, Department of Space will be taking care, like every body will be working properly without overlapping into their others field. Okay, so it is the nodal implementation agency of the Indian space policy. Okay, if there is any interpretation issue that is coming between the three bodies, it will interpret, it will clarify any ambiguities. Okay, Department of Space will be making sure that proper availability, continuous and improved Earth observation capabilities for the national requirement that is available or properly. Department of Space will be participating in the international efforts like critical remote sensing, disaster management, and all the United Nations missions, which are very, very important for the government and in which India is being part of, related to humanitarian accesses along with the Ministry of External Affairs. Okay. Proper sustenance of the satellite constellation, Department of Space will be taking care of that. Department of Space will be taking care of the proper compatibility, proper interoperability of the Indian satellite navigation. Okay, so Department of Space will be a top body. Under that, all the other three bodies will be functioning, and if any problem comes within the three bodies, Department of Space will be clearing out that. Okay, Department of Space will be setting and ensuring the safe and sustainable space operation. Proper international space debris management. Okay, it will be coordinating in the international cooperation in the space governance. Then what are the space activities, what are the existing laws, space laws, international laws, all are being interpreted by the Department of Space. Okay, so this is what the all about our Indian space policy, in which the private sector role has been enhanced and proper role has been set up. Which department is going to do what type of work, so ambiguities has been totally removed. Now, current status of Indian space sector. Indian private sector will be working end to end. Private sector can utilize the ISRO facilities. Okay, right now we have a global space economy of 2%. Okay, and we have a capability of having around 10% of the global space economy in the future. That is what we are having. Then we have already shown to the world that cost effective satellite launch vehicles we are having. PSLV. PSLV is the most utilized satellite launch vehicle. PSLV, most important satellite launch vehicle. And slowly GSLV, satellite launch vehicle, is also gaining the momentum. India has also committed to the Geneva Confinement on Disarmament, because we are also following the law in which the launch vehicle has to follow the Geneva Convention of Disarmament. You cannot have any kind of explosive or anything that has to be set up into the launch vehicles. Okay, India is the 6th largest space agency in the world. NASA, European, JAXA, Russian, and then you have European space agencies. All these things are there, and India is having around 400 private space companies are there. Okay, 5th globally in the number of space companies. Before coming of this policy, India was under the total ambiguity regarding the space mission. You have to always context whether we can do this or not, whether we can do it. Now, in the as per the space document, Indian space policy, everything has been cleared. Each and every ambiguities has been cleared, and now you can do, and without any regulatory hindrance, you can do anything. Okay. So, making India a self-reliant space sector in the field of employment, technology sector. So, in space, will be providing a level playing field between the private companies and the space utilization of a space infrastructure. NSIL will be total or implementing agencies, and it will be based on the demand driven, and ISRO will be mainly focusing on the R&D activity. That is the 3 things that we have to discuss: role of InSpace, role of NSIL, role of ISRO. Okay, so if we go by this chart, you can see that number of space tech companies in the world, like in the USA 5,500 companies are there, in the UK 600, in India we have 368 space companies are there. Like that, if we can go, then the space sector works on satellite manufacturing, ground segments, launch services, and satellite services are there. It's a huge business in the future. Launch economy is going to be boosting in the future. Okay, satellite is utilized for maritime use, media, entertainment, aerospace, transportation, telecommunication, agriculture. So satellite will be utilized for each and every activities. So that is why Indian space policy document is very important, because the space is the future, and everything related to the ambiguities related to that has to be solved. Okay, so this is all for today, guys. So thank you so much for joining the session. Join our Oliveboard regulatory exam telegram channel. Descriptive box link is there. Then Oliveboard regulatory app is there. Do join that. Regulatory course is there, and we have released the various courses. I think some coupon code has also come, I don't know, but if you wanted to see, you can just go to the telegram group, or you can go to the Oliveboard website and join the courses from there. So thank you so much. I'll be seeing you in the tomorrow class. So thank you so much. Bye bye, take care, and have a good day.